welcome to the today's webinar, which is Azure Storage Account Security. And this is hosted by the InfosecTrain, and I am the speaker for the day, and myself, Rishabh. So today we will be seeing few simple things regarding the storage account security. And in the security, actually, my focus today was, to talk about one specific thing, that is the rotation of your Azure Storage Accounts access key. And rotation with the help of bit of automation, if we can create something like, if your key is about to expire and we just want to rotate it, okay, before it expires, right? So something like that, if you have that kind of policy implemented in the organization and you want to go with the simply plainly with the your automation part. So that is the whole motive behind this 1 hour webinar. And I know 1 hour is very small, very less time as well. So we will try to make it crisp, and we will be talking few points here. And I'm Rishabh Kotial, and I am an MCT, Microsoft Certified Trainer. I have few certificates up in my sleeves, like AZ900 very basic, 104, AZ500, and your SC200, SC900, and multiple others as well from the different vendors as well, like CEH Security Plus, very basic of security, CYSA, ECSA, CSA, K.NET Java, these kind of things. And then I'm also CEI as well, which is Certified E-Commerce Instructor, and I just lead few different other trainings as well. Okay, and I am having more than 8 years of experience now, and right now I'm working with the InfosecTrain, and InfosecTrain is bringing this webinar to you. And I think most of you guys will be familiar with the InfosecTrain from a very long time, and many of you are our very supporter, okay, in this journey. So you all know that we started way back around 2016, and we provide a range of different training programs, certification, and consulting services, very specifically in the cybersecurity domain, cloud, cloud security, okay, cloud services, cloud learning as well. Okay, even we are working with the data science as well. So if you want to check our programs, you can visit our website over as well, www.infosectrain.com. And I will be just directly jumping onto today's agenda. So today's agenda will be all about what is your storage account service. Then understanding, okay, this thing I will be quickly taking you through the authentication methods of the storage account, that what are the different methods that you will be finding over here. And then this is something that I wanted to discuss with you guys, right? Because I think this is something that many of my candidates also ask, right? Not directly on the course, because if you are taking the courses, rarely these kind of things will be discussed over there. But when people start working with the Azure, the cloud, they will be having these kind of problems, and like their requirement need, and they come up with these things. So today's talk is mostly, because 1 hour we can only discuss few things. So this is a talk of 1 hour where we'll be discussing how to rotate the key, and how to bring the bit of the automation in there. I will give you a link as well where you can see and test it out by yourself as well, that whether or not it's working, and everything is there predefined. Okay, so let's just move ahead and let's just start for the day. And all the references, first of all, I want to tell you upfront that all the references are taken from the official Microsoft documents. So everything that you are seeing over there, those are going to be very specifically from the Microsoft documents only, right? Images and the concept, the definition, and everything, right? So who is better to give you the insight from the Microsoft, apart from the Microsoft, right? They are the owner of this thing. So this is something that what we will be doing. Now, let's just move ahead and let's just start with your storage account. So as most of you guys joined here, you guys will be familiar with the cloud, first of all. Second, in the cloud, you have always the option of some storage account. Like AWS is the most popular cloud service right now around the globe. And in AWS, you guys will be familiar, there is a storage service which is known as your S3 buckets, right? And that is one of the way. So here as well, there is going to be your Azure Storage Account, kind of very similarity, means it will be also giving you the option of storing things in the form of the objects, right? So you can do that here as well. So when I'm talking about the Azure account, I'm just giving you the overview. Again, I'm hoping that you guys are familiar with the basic terminologies of Azure here. So when I'm talking about the storage account, it contains all of my Azure storage data object, including my blob, binarized objects, file share services. There is going to be the queue service, there is going to be the tables, and there is going to be also the disk. So in a storage account, you have the variety of the storage account that you can create. You can create for your VMs, you can create disk storage. For if you want to do, let's say, a file share server, like in your organization, if you guys are familiar, there is usually having the file share servers, and those file share either will be based on the Linux environment or the Windows environment. And in the Linux, what we have the NFS, network file share protocol, for that. And in the Windows, we have the Samba protocol, right, for the your file share servers. So again, for your storage account give you the privilege that you can create or use the storage account as a file share server. And as it is a Windows service, it is going to obviously going to use the Samba service. So you have to make sure that your port number 445 is working. Your ISP, your organization is allowing that if you want to work with that. Apart from that, there are something that some of the services from the your uh, Azure will be accessible by the REST APIs. Those are going to be like queue service. Let's say that there are the two functions or apps, they are passing the message. This is just simple like the queue. One thing is messaging that read this image or read this location. Another one is picking up that image, or send email to this one. So passing the message on the queue. And there will be the table storage as well. The structured data you can store over there, right? Not a relational. I'm not saying it is a relational database, just the structure. Like there is something like ID or the size of the photo and something like that as structured data you have. And then there is a binary level object, that is the binary large object blob, just similar to the STU store anything. Here also, as a blob, you can store anything, a file, a PDF, a video, image, anything. And good thing about the blob is that each of them are going to get a unique URL. Like I'm storing a picture, right? Let's say I'm storing the picture of let's say, for example, your, Air Force One, or that plane, right? And then I want to share it with something. So this will be getting a unique link, only this thing, just like YouTube. I always compare this with the YouTube. Like each video is there, and each video has a unique link. You can pick that one up, that link, and share with anyone. Same here as well. You pick this one up, okay? You pick that, either it is a video, image, PDF, folder, anything, file, any kind of file, like a PowerShell file, a shell file, to share it with someone. That is a link. And if you have given proper permission, that person can go ahead and access this file as well, like this Air Force One image. This kind of thing is also possible with your storage account. And guys, if you will be reading more in depth about the storage account, so just to give you guys the idea, let me do one thing. Let me just show you the link. Okay, one specific link. What is a storage account? So if you'll be going in here, you will be finding that there are different type of storage accounts, like general purpose V2, premium block blobs, premium file share, premium page blobs, right? And then for the higher availability, there is going to be things like the zone redundancy, geo zone redundancy. These things are different. Again, I'm hoping that you have read the basics of the storage account, right? How to write name, how to access them, all these kind of things are going to be there regarding your storage account. So you will be having a storage account where you can store the data in simple terms. We can understand that. And just a quick overview that you are storing the blob, which will be called the container storage here. And it is optimized for storing massive amount of unstructured data such as text, binary data, like I was saying, video, image, file, anything. Then you can also create for your VM. I can create a managed disk. Let's say that you want to create a managed disk, right? A disk which you will be handling, right, in a VM. Although this will be, kind of affecting the availability of your machine, right? So, in the service level agreement, we have like 95%, SLA, 99.9% SLA. So using this kind of managed disk, although decrease the SLA, but yes, you can use the storage account for doing something like that. Plus, I was talking about that, file share service using the Samba, right? Samba protocol, sharing, just like you have the file share service, similar to that, you can use the storage account for same purpose. Now, if you guys are familiar with any cloud services, you will be familiar when we have these storage account, there are different tiers to them, like hot tier, cool tier, archive tier, how you want to store the data, because there are different costs attached to them. Okay, so when we are talking about the hot data is kind of something that is frequently used in your organization, and the data that which you want instantly ready. I want to access it, and it is ready to be exchanged quickly, right? And for this thing, there is something like the processing cost attached to that, right? Access cost that would be lower, although storage cost will be higher, kind of a thing, right? So cost will be a bit different in each thing. Now, cool tier will be something, that data or file which, let's say that you use like once in a month or twice in a month, right? Once in 15 days or 30 days, something like that. So it will be on the, yes, you can access it quickly, right? But for this, storage charge will be less, but access charge will be a bit higher than the hot, right? Then there is archive, which you really use like in 6 months or once in a year, something like that. Okay, and you just want to store it unless someone is asking. Let's say that you have done some audit 3 or 4 years ago, and just you want to keep the record over there, right? So you just keep it like that. And think about these archive storages, that these are not directly accessible. You kind of, we use a term which is rehydrate. So you have to first rehydrate them either into the hot tier or cool tier, and then you will be able to use these kind of a thing. Now, I hope you guys have seen, how to create a storage account, because I'm not going to show you. First of all, I'm directly going to show you the storage, one of the storage account. Okay, hopefully, this is my MCT account. Hopefully, I'm having one storage account here. Okay, one of the session I was using it. So on the left hand side, if you guys will notice, there is going to be the service like container, blob, file share, queue, table, these kind of services already in there. Now, uh, every time when you will be creating these storage account, so our today's focus is on the access keys. So you will see every time you create a storage account, there is going to be something that is the access key over here, right? Now you can see these access key on the part, correct? So we will be talking about your access keys now, right? And again, I will be asking everyone to be on mute. And if you have question, you can drop them on the chat box. And if we are, okay, so you can drop them onto the chat box as well. Apart from that, toward the end, guys who just joined us now, towards the end, when you see thank you slide, I will give you the time to ask questions as well, right? So now let's just talk about these access keys. That what are these access key? Okay, so whenever you create an account, Azure is going to generate two 512-bit of storage account access keys, and for that particular one. And these keys can be used to authorize the access to the data in your storage account via the shared key authorization, right? Not always you are going to use the username password to log in. Let's say that, for example, there was an application and it need to store a data to the your storage account. So instead of using the username and password every time, although the best part is going to be the, if I will say, the best security measure that Azure is suggesting is the managed identity, that you create an identity for it and use the username password and give it the permission, something like that, right? that what we can do. And what else we can do is we can just give the connection string, the can give a key which it can use, let's say, the authenticate itself and store data over there. So that kind of thing also will be very useful. Plus, with the help of the shared your keys, you will be seeing that we can generate something like for securely accessing your storage account, SAS, shared access signature. So there is a lot of features that is provided by these keys. So Microsoft, it recommend you to use the Microsoft Key Vault. Okay, Key Vault is another service. So Key Vault to manage your access key, and that you regularly rotate and regenerate your key. Okay, so this is where we are going today, right? Rotate and regenerate the key. Okay, so using the key vault, it makes easy to rotate your keys without the interruption to your application, and you can also manually rotate the key. And I always give one example over here, and when we are talking about the storage access keys that I was showing you here. So simply these things that I'm talking about, this is if someone wants to understand them, that what are they are. So you can think that it is very similar to a root password for your storage account. So we have to always protect our key, and we will be using Key Vault to manage and rotate our keys securely. And we will be avoiding the distribution of the access key to the other user, or even hard coding them or saving them anywhere in the plain text that is accessible to others, right? So we'll be rotating the key there if we find that, or we doubt that some keys are compromised. So we'll be doing that as well. Okay, so if you have seen these keys, these are here. So these are the key. In one example that I personally gave in almost in my sessions is that, let's say that there is going to be the application. Okay, and why the two keys are there. Multiple time people ask that why we are not using one key. There should be the why there is two key. We can use one key. So thing is, if you have seen last year, there was few website that was down. Even Azure was down, AWS is down, and very simple thing was happening over there was like this is an application key, and now it is using a key. Okay, and its data is stored somewhere. Let's say a kind of a storage account, and it has a key. Now you have applied some key rotation policy. Let's say that you were in doubt that this key is compromised. Now what is happening? If you doubt this thing and you rotate this key and regenerate this key, what will happen? This key will become invalid, and during that time, if someone is coming and try to access your application, it will be inaccessible. Why? Because your key is invalid. So it cannot go and access your storage account, and it is giving error. So that there is the availability issue. Okay, and in security we have three pillars: CIA, and availability is impacted. Now what you can do in the meantime, instead of using the same key, you have two key. Now if I have doubt that I need to rotate this key, so what I can do, I can use the in the meantime, I go ahead, I use another key, and use this key and regenerate this key or rotate this key. Now this key is rotated, and during that time I was using this key, which is still valid, and it doesn't give me any error, right? So I keep my application out of any of those kind of error from here. So this kind of thing is happening, or the need, or you can say, of rotating the keys as well, that is in there. So I just wanted to give you the idea that what we have the keys, which you can think as a root password over there, and we have to protect them. This is our responsibility to protect them, and Microsoft is suggesting that keep them into the your key vault. Now, just for a quick overview, what is a key vault? Key vault is going to be the your a cloud service for securely storing and accessing the secrets. A secret is anything that you want to tightly control access to, such as API key, password, certificate, and even cryptographic keys. Okay, and key vault service is support two type of the containers: vault and managed hardware security module. So two tiers actually is going to be the, there, right? So two things that are in there is going to be the two tiers kind of a thing. That is going to be the your vault and the managed thing. So you have to choose which, how much you want to pay for the service. So when we are talking about the vault is the software based, your sorry, vault support storing the software, and HSM based, back key, secret and certificate. While you will be talking about the your HSM based, it is, manage HSM. It is only going to support your, HSM backed key. So two tiers are going to be there. When you create key vault, you'll be seeing there is one is going to be the standard, another one is premium, and the premium is going to support your HSM, right? So this is the bit of a difference that is going to be there. And in simple term, key vault is just like, at your home, any vault is there. You have hidden, let's say, all your jewelry and all things here. So in the vault in Azure, we'll be storing your keys, right? Your passwords, your secret keys, password. Secret is the password, right? Your certificate, all these kind of things we can go ahead and, work around with the key vaults. Now, as what we were talking about, automating the rotation. Now, first is, I can simply click on the things like here. I can go to the storage account and click on this rotate key, right? And it will be regenerating my key. Simple as that. Rotate key. But every time what I am doing, I am going ahead and I am generating something like, manually I have to do all the hard work. And let's say that someday I forgot about this thing, and it leads some drastic things over there. And usually in the organization, you will be seeing that key should be rotated in the 60 days. So first, what you will be doing, if let's say that you have some kind of this, this kind of a policy. So what we'll do in here, you'll be seeing this thing like whenever 30 days or less is left, there should be one event that is generated that is going to trigger this automation and say that, okay, it's time to change the key. So what will happen when this thing triggered? So next thing, what will happen is, in the meantime, we will start using the key 2, and then we will be just going ahead and changing the key 1. Then again, when this key 2 will be having, say, the same thing happen, like 30 days left. So what will happen? Again, an event will trigger and then change this key. And in the meantime, we will use another key over here, right? So this is kind of a whole scenario that you are going to see, and I will be explaining it on the PPTs as well. So here, when we are talking about the automation, automate the rotation. So when one access key is stored in the latest version of the secret, means this time what is my secret? My secret is my key. The alternate key is regenerated. Same thing that I was talking about, that I am storing one key, another key is being regenerated and added to the key vault as a new latest version of the key. Now, in this whole process, like diagram will be something like this, that I'm having the storage account, and whenever my secret is near the expiry, I have stored my secret into the key vault. Now, whenever this will be happen, there will be an event trigger, and that will be, this is the event grid which is working on the subscribe based model. So what we have done, we have created a function over here, which what it will do whenever this event will generate. Okay, it will say 30 day or less is there. It is going to trigger this function, right? And then it will be regenerate the alternate key, store another key in the secret and regenerate the another key in the meantime, and then store your new secret version of the key into the key vault. So this kind of a thing will be happen. So this is first thing. First step is 30 days before the expiration date of a secret, key vault is going to publish the near expiry event to the event grid. Now, second step, event grid check the event subscription and use the HTTP post to call the function app endpoint that subscribe to the event. So this event grid is working. If someone has worked with the IoT, there we have a protocol with the name MQTT, which work on the publish subscribe based kind of a thing. So same here, kind of scenario, not protocol, but scenario, that my function has subscribed to an event whenever there is the expiry date nearby, right? So whenever this HTTP post call will be generating, so my function is working as an endpoint where I have attached this event. So this event is triggering, this is triggering my function app, and this function app is running and switching the key, storing the latest version of the key over there, and just show you the same thing on the part. So that's the second thing, that function app identify alternate key, not the latest one, and call the storage account to regenerate it, that you should be regenerating it. Now, after that, function app is going to add the new regenerated key to the Azure Key Vault as the new version of the secret. So this thing is going to happen over here. Now, in this part, you have seen one thing which is called your, it's at the event grid. Now, in the event grid, what is event grid? So event grid is your highly scalable, serverless event broker in simple terms, right? That you can use to integrate different application using the event. So event are delivered by the event grid to subscriber destination, such as application, Azure service, or any endpoint to which event grid has network access. The source of these event can be other application, SaaS service, and Azure service. So to explain this, there will be this diagram. And if someone want to go ahead and study this thing, again, the link you will be finding, if you will be Googling it, that what is a store, your event grid, I think Google is going to show you this page where it will be just explained that what it is, right? There is a source, event source, different event source are there. And then there is an event grid. And then there is going to be the handler. Okay, those will be handling the event over here. So in this one, you can see in the source there is blob storage service, like we'll be using the storage service, different subscription, IoT services, machine learning, cache, different things. They can generate any kind of event. Okay, and then those events are being passed, to the event grid. Like my function app, which is going to regenerate the new key. They have subscribed to this event grid, that I'm subscribing to you. So it could be any serverless code, workflow and integration, like the logic app service, bus. Again, logic app is a kind of a serverless function. Then buffering and competing consumer like storage queues, event hub, or some other services as well, even Azure automation as well. Now, if someone is familiar with the Azure automation, they must be thinking that in Azure automation, I can create a run and I can run a PowerShell to again do the same thing, rotation of the storage account key. So if someone is familiar with this methodology as well, that is another way of regenerating the key. Okay, so someone can go ahead and try that methodology as well. Now, for the people who are not familiar with the your storage account, function. So what is Azure function? So Azure function is first of all your serverless, okay, serverless solution. So you must have heard again and again in the your different cloud session, serverless services. So it is one of the serverless function, okay, which allow you to write less code, okay, maintain less infrastructure. Means underlying this thing, there is no infrastructure that you have to run, okay, and save on the cost. So what it means, save on the cost? So it is talking about that instead of worrying about the deploying and maintaining the server. So if you have some uh, services, infrastructure as a service, right? So what is happening, there is an underlying infrastructure where this thing is learning, and you have to think about them as well. But in here, any event will be triggering these serverless functions, and at that time, those code that you have written, so just focus on the code, that what is happening, and they will start run, and you will be paying for the time when this code is running. Okay, so this as you can see, the cloud infrastructure provide all the up-to-date resources that you need to keep your application running, and it is going to work like this. The event is triggering the code, and it will run and it will do its work. So we just focus on the piece of the code which matter most to us, and Azure function will have handle the rest. So usually what we do is we often build the system to react with the critical series event, whether you are building a web API, responding to a database changes, or processing some IoT data stream, or even managing some message queue. Every application need a way to run some code as these events occur. So to meet this particular need, these Azure function, they provide something which we are calling the compute on demand, right? So in two ways. One, first is that Azure function, it is allowing you to implement your logic, system logic, with the block of codes. And these block of codes are your what you are calling the function. Like in our program that you have written, there are different functions, right? So you are just writing those function over here, and different function can run anytime you need. Whenever any critical event happen, those function can run, right? Like I'm subscribing to an event when my key is about to expire, and function will start to run. And plus, this is the case that function, it is using the cloud's one of the benefit, which is which we call scalability. Okay, so this meet with the demand of the as many resource and function instance is necessary. So if there are too many requests coming, right, so what it will do, it will start working with them, and if it requires extra resources, it will provide all those things to you, right? So it is using the best of the using taking the best advantage of the cloud itself, right? So without any further ado, I have given you the idea that what is going to happen and how things are, and this is what we are actually want to I think everyone here want to see. There is going to be these codes, okay, already for you. If you have heard about infrastructure as a code, so already pre-created templates for you, which you can directly run and get all the things running. Okay, so if there is a prerequisite, like what we require if you want to see this thing, okay, the rotation of a key, right? So what you will be requiring, you will be requiring a keyword, you will be requiring a particular storage account. So it will be, they will be creating two storage accounts for you. So if you want to test out further, right? So these things are required, and plus you'll be requiring some resource groups as well. So what you have to do is simply what I am going to do, you can do same thing like I'm doing here. Click on deploy to Azure. Okay, I'm just using right click because if I would have clicked directly, so it would have changed the page. So I'm opening it in the new tab. It is taking me to the custom deployment. I have to do simple thing. I'll be creating a new page, and everything that you require is going to be here. If someone is interested to see JSON file, how you can see that as well, I will be letting you know. Okay, so let's say that I want to create a new resource group for the same thing, and here I think they will be suggesting something like the vault rotation, right? So I'm using this thing, and why I'm using this, I just want to make sure that these queries, they just I need to make limited changes, because the name of the storage account will be driven from the resource group name, and their queries will be on the same thing. So what I'm trying to do right now is that I have to do the less of the hard work and change the template too much. Now what we are going to do is, just a sec. Let me just create a new one. Paste the name here, rotation, RK. I think RKW. I think it should be fine. RK webinar. Okay, I'm just giving my name here. You can use something else. Let me just use one of my favorite location, which is East US. Okay, and now you can see everything will be using this prefix. So if someone want to see the template or anything, so you can click on this edit template, and you can see whole template, variable resources that are being used. That is going to be the part of this, right? So this is going to be in there, right? So if just click on discard, just give this thing and simply click on review and create. I'm just giving you the idea, guys, that what you need to do, right? So it will take few minutes to go ahead and deploy it. In the meantime, let me just tell you that what you need to do. I just wanted to show you how to deploy this. Now, it will be too easy for you as well to go ahead and create these things. Now, there is either if you're comfortable with the Azure CLI or with the PowerShell, both commands are there. Once it is done, if you want to check that these resources has been created, first is the visual confirmation that I can use my management portal, go to the same resource group and check that three things are there. One is the your key vault and two storage account. So you can run these query and they will give you some result like this, right? Then you will be you'll be creating the rotation function over there, and this is something that is going to be the interesting. So this whole deployment, few things that you have to keep in mind, what will be working, what is not, that is something that I am going to tell you. So here, what is going to be deployed, you will be deploying in function app. And what function app is requiring, if you guys are familiar with the Azure apps, right, web apps, so you will be knowing that it requires some app service plan, right? So function also required some app service plan, so we will be deploying that. Then we will be requiring storage account, which that function is going to trigger the change of a rotation of the key. And then there will be the access policy that will be creating in the key vault, operator service rule, key rotation, all the function. You will be creating the event grid trigger. So all these pre-written or deploy things are going to be in this link. So when you open this one, you can see whole thing. And if someone is interested, all these things in the GitHub, if you'll be finding. So when you'll be going through this thing, here, it is a GitHub link. So you can open this thing and see everything that like you want to see. What is the function, how function is deployed and everything. What is the story behind the function? So you can open them like here for the storage rotation. What is a function? Okay, for the storage rotation function, what storage function is doing over here. Okay, if I bring you back a bit, first for the deployment of a normal function, what is happening? That function, that whole function that I am going to deploy, that I am talking about here, this is the whole schema. And why they are sharing this with you, this is just the demo, guys. Okay, so according to your organization need, people, if you are familiar with writing the JSON code and all, you will be modifying it according to your need, right? What vault name you want, what kind of security you want, because in the vault as well, you need to give the permission. Okay, so here you can see the whole code for deployment of the function that is here. So if any changes you want, you can go ahead and use them as well. This is just the function app. Then with this, what else is being deployed? Your event, right? When we were subscribing for the event. So here, how that will work. So this is the whole your JSON template for the same. Yeah. Okay. Then there will be the initial setup as well. That what and how things are over there. Okay. So all things are going to be available in the GitHub as well. So you can read them. Okay. So initial setup. So what the key vault and two storage account that is right now being created over here. This part, which is actually created by now. So this thing you will be seeing directly here, that how it is, then bit of the description about the same, what was happening. All these things are being used over here. So you can see that this is here, how function and everything will be work. Okay, right. So what is happening, guys? This is the part, the key vault and everything. Now, in the vault, I can visually confirm same thing, that these are my key vault. This is the storage account that has been created for me, right? Now, second thing is I am needing to deploy the event grid. I need to deploy your function app. I'm going to create that policy which will be triggering the event. And all that is what I'm picking. I'm picking it all from the GitHub from this tutorial itself. Now, if you want to deploy it, few things, let me tell you, when you will be trying this, which needs to be unique, okay? Because I have also faced the bit, I would say, not problem, but means a few challenges or errors. And I think errors are totally cool, right? Unless you will be trying something, you're not going to get the error. So just to show you that how those CLI will be working, I'm going to use the Cloud Shell here. Okay, let it just start this thing, and let me just grab that. This was the your CLI query. Let's see whether it will give me the sometime. Remember, these query can take okay. Looks like I need to go ahead and let me just okay. This will be there, and then once you are deployed, second step is deploying those function event grip, and you can launch it on the new link and read these steps carefully. Okay, they will be asking you to keep things same if you have deployed resources using the your prerequisite section, which we have done, right? So we'll be keeping most of the things same. Only thing in the step number 8 and 9 we will be changing, that will be the name of the function app and secret name, right? Where we will be, we are going to store our keys. Those two things we are going to go ahead and change. Rest of, apart from that, everything will be this familiar. So I was just showing you the query now. Let me just use clear first, and let me just paste my query and oh, sorry. Yeah, it will not find me because I have added RKW in the end. Yes, and you can validate that my key vault storage accounts are in there. Now, what we are doing, we are deploying the next deployment, which is will be asking us to use the what was the name, rotation, yeah, vault rotation RKW. So now most of the thing you will be keeping same. Even secret name, I have no issue that if it will be storing the things with the name storage key. So what is happening in here? If I give you the idea, my storage accounts key, it will be stored in my key vault. And if you guys have seen the key vault, there is the option of secret. So under the secret, this will be stored as a key. So what is happening in simple terms, or bit practically, if I will show that what this program is doing, it is going to your, okay, there is a key vault. Okay, this is another key vault actually. So in that key vault, it is going under the secret section. In this secret section, it is just creating or generating your secret. So the value of secret in this case is your that key vaults. It is your key vaults access key. These things are being, let's say that I am just copying these things from here, like this key, and I'm just pasting it on this value part and creating a secret. So this is what is happening, right? And that's why under this part you are seeing these changes. So if you will see, mostly in all these steps, it will be asking you to keep the default things as it is. It will be just asking you the function app name box, enter the name of the function app. And remember, guys, you need to give this function app name something, I would say, unique. Okay. So if you want to change this function name, you have to give it unique. So I will give it RK webinar 101 FA, right? Something like this, so that it is unique, right? And then I'm just gonna go ahead and use the like I was storing a secret here. So I have to give it a name, like a database password, or your other password. So that name, what would be its name? So that is what we are defining here. So I'm happy with this storage key. I don't want to change it. So simply let's just go for review and create. And guys, sometime in the custom deployment, you will be having the error. So it is saying that you need to agree to the term and condition. So when you will click on create, automatically you will be agreeing, getting those agreed terms. So earlier, if you guys are familiar with the older UI of the Azure, so there used to be a one checkbox button of I agree. Now what they have done, they have removed it, and when you click on create, you will be automatically agreeing to the term and condition, and simply click on create. Are these keys going to be stored in the plain text? No, it is going to be stored in the encrypted format. These are the keywords. If someone has worked with this something like the HashiCorp keyword, right, or even Windows Certificate Store, you will be familiar that these are going to be the encrypted form, not in the plain text. Like I was talking about the rotation earlier, if you remember, the use other key in that particular part, right? So that's why we are having the two key. We don't want it to get crashed. Okay, hopefully this will not give any error. So while it is happening, you will see now function, event grid, the policies and everything will be created for you. So if you want the template and code for the rotation function, here you can see some samples here, which will be again directly taking you to the same page which I was taking you to, right? And you will be getting these functions, code and everything that is there. Now, few things that you need to change is like, each of the, I am registered with my account here. Okay, same, you guys will be registered with the your account itself. Okay, so it is asking what in the next one, that we have to set the policy, access policy for ourselves to the what? In the secret, we should be able to do these kind of things: set, delete, get, list, these kind of things. And where these things exist, if I will tell you in the key vault, let me just take you to the key vault. In the key vault, what we have this access policies. So you can do this rather than command, you can use it via this whole panel itself. So here what I can do is the key permissions. So if I will drop it down, this is the key permission, this is the secret permission. So like here, get, list, set, delete. And these are the 4 permissions that it is asking you to set. You can use the command line as well, or you can use, once this is deployed, everything is deployed, you can go ahead and give yourself these permissions. So for those guys who are new to the Key Vault, there are 2 things. One is going to be the management plane, another is going to be the data plane. Management plane is like, someone who can set up these network settings, that which network can access it, or firewall rules, that only this IP address is allowed to access the Key Vault, changing these kind of a thing, right, on the management plane. Second thing will be who should be allowed to see the data that is stored, because Key Vault is storing something which we can say is pretty much high valuable kind of a thing, right? So in that particular case, what is going to happen, we will be talking about something like, oh sorry, if I'm clicking on the secret, so I'm able to see the secret, this is my database password. So I have access to this database password. Why? Because I have the permission on the data plane, right? And you want that kind of a database permission if you want to that function. If that function want to go ahead and rotate something like that, you need to run that function with the some users, like I am the user who will be running that. So I have the permission to go and read that data kind of thing. So that's why we are trying to get this kind of a scenario. Now you can see second deployment is also totally fine and completed as well, right? Now thing will become a bit more complicated onto these parts, where we will be going ahead now and we have to set these policy first, and then we have to change few things. Like I am going to require the storage accounts resource ID. I am going to need the access key detail as well, that what are my key, and I need to copy and paste them somewhere so that I can keep them safe, right? And then I have to put those values in here. Like on the part of the key value one, I will be putting the key one's value. Then on the second one, I will be putting the in here storage account ID. So these 2 things, and that's why I want to get these things first. And I have to change the query according to that. And what this is doing for demo purpose, guys, if you will be reading this query, a variable it is setting which is tomorrow day. tomorrow date. So it wanted to trigger just now. So what they are doing, they are triggering it, which will be saying that, that tomorrow it is going to expire, so that as instantly when you are creating this thing, right, this application, you can see that yes, keys are being changed. And then after this, they will be telling you that where you can say the key has been changed now and something like that. And then, you know, using it on the some other level, using the same function with the multiple storage account as well. Then this will be going ahead, adding or going a step up over there. This kinds of thing is happening. Now, when we will be doing this thing, so quickly, right? So just give me 1 second. Let me just create a new uh, text file where I can keep all the things. Okay, let me just quickly go ahead, delete this, just paste it, okay, so that I can easily do the copy paste of the things as well. Now, first of all, what it is requiring is me to go ahead and set the policy for myself. So I will go to where? Okay, onto the, yes, keyword. So what I did was we created this keyword, right, for this testing purpose. So here you will notice RKW has been added toward the end. So I will be going on to the access policy. Manually, I'm doing this for myself. I know you can see that this is the application that here you will see some permission has been assigned to this thing, like get set list. So here you can see what you are doing. Set up policy for yourself, email address of the user, vault rotation, and the secret permission, these things. So one to myself, and another permission that is set here is for what? That function app that I created. For that is now registered as an application, and because it need to rotate the key, right? So it also requires the permission to go ahead and read the key and everything. So in the keyword, it has the permission now on the secret. And same for me as well. I will be giving myself permission, what they were talking, get, list, set, delete. I guess these four, get, delete, get, set, list, delete. Okay. Yeah, same thing. For permission for myself. Okay, let me just select myself. Let me just click on add, right? So Rishabh now also has the permission. Application also has the permission so that it can go with the storage account and rotate that data, and click on save. Okay, so policies have been now been saved now, right? Now next thing was get the detail, like what are you want, Azure resource ID. So when I will run this thing, what it is going to do, it is going to give me the detail about the my. So what I will do, let me just paste it, RK storage, and something I need is RKW. Okay, let me just copy this. This is my CLI, Cloud Shell I am using, guys, over here. So it will be giving me the detail. Oh, sorry, storage account name I have to give. So what is my storage account name? RKW storage. Okay, my bad. So here it is, RK. Yeah, in between I have to give RKW. Okay, just a minute. Let me just. Okay. So you will see in between I have pasted this RKW in between these two. So now it will be the name of my storage account. I want its detail. So I'm just gonna go here, paste it, enter. Okay, these are the details. And I will be reading a line where it will be calling something like your ID. Okay, resource ID properties. Inside the ID properties, I will be having, yeah. This is the whole thing. Let me just copy this full line actually. Copy this one, right? And just going ahead on to the storing the detail over here. Okay, this is the ID. Now, another command that I have to run is get the key values as well. So for the key, same thing, key. I want the key. So let me just directly this time paste the query and between vault rotation RKW storage and enter. So there will be now list of two keys. This is my key one and key two. So let me just copy the value of one of the key for now so that I can compare it later on, paste it and use it as well for the first time. Now, oops, I didn't copied it. Just give me a sec. Okay, so now you guys can see my key as well. But don't worry, I'm going to delete this as soon as this webinar is over. So no one will be knowing the key anymore. Right. So if someone having the any of the attackers kind of a thought process, it is not going to work. I'm just going to change it after the webinar. Right. So now we have the detail, and now I have to edit this thing. So I will be just to test out this thing. I will be setting up a policy which will be from tomorrow. It will be just telling me that. So what I need to change is first is the key value, right? So first I'm going to start with the key value right here. Copy. And this is the key one value. I'm just pasting my key one value over here. Then also I needed to change something else as well. That was the ID. So ID is this. Storage account ID. This. And then I need to change the value of the key one. So this is just for the purpose that where it is saying that I'm just setting up one tomorrow's date. So which will be saying that tomorrow we are going to pass, means today is the 30 day which we have passed and it is going to expire tomorrow. So it is going to trigger that event. So we are triggering that event so that we can see that whether it is working or not. So I'm just making sure that double equals to it is ending and starting with something like the MU, correct? So here is my queries. I'm going to copy them and I'm just going to switch back to this Cloud Shell and paste them here. Hopefully no errors are going to be in there. I think invalid user. Okay. Okay, I have to read this thing. Which user it is calling me? Okay, I guess RKW. I have forgot to change something in the your. I think resource group or something like invalid issue. Oh, okay. I know what is the. Did I say this thing or not? Vault rotation RKW. Because last time I did a very silly mistake, which was under this key vault. I think I have updated the access policy. Okay, Rishabh should be having the policy by now. Okay, no issues. Let me just open a new tab and again try to run this thing. Okay, usually it should work, but right now error is here. Okay, I just suddenly remember. If you will see vault name, it is vault rotation kiwi, while my name of the okay, guys, if you will be able to see here, okay, a mistake is in this part. Vault name is the vault rotation KV. Okay, and in here, my name is vault rotation RKW. That's why I was saying changing the name. So we have to remember the all the queries and everything. We have to read them carefully. So now I have done this RKW and same thing. Now I think it should be just fine. Okay, only thing that we have to wait now. Okay, let me open. Okay, it will take same time. It will not allow me to delete instantly all the things at once. So you just have to be a bit patient for 1 minute more, and then we are ending this thing. Okay, because this will be issuing. But if you want to see the result, it can take 10 to 15 more minutes. Okay, when the key will be changed. But right now, first thing is when we will be seeing this thing. Okay, great. Right. So guys, if I just want to show you that there is this key vault, and in this key vault, there is going to be the secret. I think by now it is created. Okay, right now, no. So we are going to issue it. Okay, so first paste. So same thing. This time RKW I have changed. Enter. Okay, no error this time, and it runs successfully. So right now, what you will see that what we have done, we have stored the key. So now we have the key one, which is stored as a in the key vault now. Now, in the key vault, its value is also stored and it is also stored. Now, with the tomorrow's date, what I have done, I have triggered the event as well. So after few minutes, when you will be going and waiting, 10, 15 minutes, you can do the same thing in your system as well. But you will see, okay, so here, secret nearest, above secret will trigger this thing. So what you will do after few minutes, when you wait, they will be also talking about this thing, same thing here, right? That we have triggered this thing. Now, if you will wait for a few minutes, what will happen is right now we are seeing key one. After a few minutes, what you will see, key one has been changed. So what we have done with this query for the demo purpose, with the query that I was running over here, this part, I was setting up the date to tomorrow, which is going to trigger thing. Plus, I am just storing first value of my key, right, onto the key vault. So now there is a store, it is storing the key one into the storage account. So now if I will be refreshing this page, I'm pretty much sure that there is going to be your storage key, which is right now consisting key one. And because we have triggered the your expiry date as well, what will happen in few minutes when you will run, like 15 or sometime you have to wait 30 minutes as well. When you run this query, copy, because with the help of this tomorrow date query, what I have done, I have triggered the event grid as well. So it will be, thinking that, that event of the key is going to expire is going to trigger, and it is going to rotate the key. So right now I am seeing key one this here. Can you read here? Credential ID is key one. In few minutes, when you will run this RK storage, okay, RKW storage, I will be changing this query. You will run this after a few minutes. This will, oh, okay, already it happened. So if you will see, when I stored the key, after this one, this was my key one, right here. Now it's at that time value was this. Now because that event grid triggered, this time you will see that key name has been changed to key2 and value is also changed, right? And this will keep happening each after 30 days. So what will happen? 30 day will happen, key will trigger, event will trigger, and then next key will be stored. key will trigger, next thing, next key will be stored, and regeneration of the other key. So this will keep happening one after another, right? So I know this was a bit of the, for some people, it might be a bit uh, high level kind of a thing who is not working or familiar with the Azure cloud, right? So this might be the, for many people, it will be something different. Okay, but this is the just the idea that I wanted to give over here, right? So when you will be practicing, things will become more and more clear over here. And this is what all the today's event was all about.